activity. Yeah. Thanks in advance for having them. I'm sure they'll have a ball.
Yeah, it's good. I'm excited.
Sure. Oh, I think I already have that on my calendar. Yeah.
I'm just going to give you more specifics about it.
Cool.
Yeah, so that should be a good thing. Oh, yes, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think we have some things in this one. In usually,
Okay, can I have a motion to adjourn from an executive session?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded, adjourning at 7:30. All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And we can now do our roll call again.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. French?
Here?
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes. It's yes. Sorry, that was my bad.
Yes, here.
Yes.
Mr. Prethridge?
Yes or here?
Mr. Smith?
Here.
Mayor Snavely?
I'm here. All right. We're now going to do a pledge of allegiance. If you'd like to join us, you're welcome. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. And can I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Are there any additions, changes? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right, the agenda's approved, and we'll move to public comment. And at this time, anyone who would like to address council about items that are not on tonight's agenda, or if they're on the consent agenda, this would be your opportunity to talk to us. And you can come up and tell us your name and where you're from, and we'll give you 5 minutes. If you would like to talk about something that's on the agenda, you can wait until it comes up, and we'll give you an opportunity then. Okay. Hearing none, we'll move to the consent agenda. Can I have a motion to approve it?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Do any items need to be removed for discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 All opposed? Consent agenda is approved, and we'll move to resolutions. You can read the first one.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into a road maintenance agreement with the Board of County Commissioners, Butler County, Ohio, for the improvement and maintenance responsibilities for portions of Riggs Road, Brookville Road, Fairfield Road, and Contreras Road.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the resolution?
moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Hi, Mike.
Good evening, Your Honor, members of council. With the proposed annexation of the western half of the Miami airport, that brings some road maintenance questions to mind. The annexation will be to the center line of the roadways, so there's always a question of who maintains what. This agreement with the county engineer and the commissioners memorializes basically our current practice, which we're already taking care of these 3 east-west roads going out to Riggs. So the agreement will memorialize that. The county will take over all the maintenance on Riggs, and they will also make improvements to 3 culverts that are deficient currently before we accept them. So I'll be glad to answer any questions.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Okay, thanks. Counselors, questions or comments?
Thank you to Mike for taking this on. I think it's always good to have more control over the streets that are adjacent to our city, but it's additional responsibility with an existing staffing resources, so thank you.
Any other questions or comments? You ready to vote? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted. We'll move to the second one.
A resolution accepting the bid and authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Elam's Excavating LLC for the replacement and upsizing of the High Street water main from Elm Street to College Avenue at a cost of $185,933.04, with a contingency in the amount of $18,593.30, for a total cost not to exceed $204,526.34.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Mike?
This is the final leg of upsizing a antiquated 10-inch cast iron main. So we'll be installing a 12-inch ductile iron main. That's about a 44% increase in capacity for the water main. And we will have replaced all of the main from the water treatment plant all the way down 73, Patterson, all of High Street, through Contreras, past the railroad. All that is relatively brand new.
Yeah.
We've worked with Elam's in the past. They worked here this summer, did a great job for us. So with your approval, we'll have a contract with them for this final leg, and the work would be done right after Miami's graduation in the spring of '26.
Okay,
Following completion of the work, we plan to pave that section of High Street from College down to Locust.
Okay.
That will be under separate contract.
all right. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Okay, thank you. Counselors, questions or comments? Are you ready to vote? Yeah.
If I may, contractors who do work for the city are kind of part of the city through the work that they do and through their supervision. And walking up and down High Street all this summer and saw how hardworking Elam's was. They worked through really hard conditions this past summer. It was extraordinarily hot. There's no shelter, being in a trench in the middle of the street. And if they didn't do good work, we would be entertaining their bid. So I'm glad that they'll be doing work for us again.
We were pleasantly surprised. That was the first contract they've had with the city, and they did very well.
Super. Anyone else? Okay, all those in favor of the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted, and we can read the third.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to accept the bid and enter into a contract with DWA Recreation for the 2025 Community Development Block Grant construction of a replacement playground at the Oxford Community Park not to exceed $112,043 even.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt this one?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Hi, Chad.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor, members of council. We went out to bid for this back in October, late September, early October. We received 5 submittals of proposals, 4 of which were by the deadline. We reviewed those internally, and this one scored the highest, and we're looking forward to getting the project started. Happy to
Okay.
answer any questions you might have.
Do you want to just give a brief description of what it is that we're replacing? The
Oh, of
small-
course. Yep, so this is the 2 to 5-year-old playground, which is located at the Oxford Community Park. It's the playground you may be familiar with near the baseball fields. So the one that's there now is the original, so it's
20 years.
20 plus years. So it is time, and this will pair nicely with the larger playground a little bit down from there that was replaced a couple of years ago.
Okay, super. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Okay, thank you. Counselors? Sounds good to me. All right, all those in favor indicate by saying aye.
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 Opposed? Resolution is adopted, and we'll move to D.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Tiny Mobile Robots for the purchase of TML Pro X Razor Athletic Field Marking Robot for a cost of $39,595.
Okay, is there a motion?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded to adopt the resolution.
Yeah, this one's back. You might recall back in the summer, we had appropriated a grant match of $16,345. That grant then became unavailable through the company. We stayed with them through several conversations. They now have come back and offered us to purchase it outright with a considerable discount, actually from $56,000 down to $39,000. The purchase sales agreement that's attached in the staff report shows that it'll be able to be purchased in 3 installment plans over the next 3 fiscal years. So in '26 and '27, we would use funds from capital equipment, and then the originally appropriated amount for the grant we can use for this year. I'll add that in those conversations, they threw in the additional package of the robot, which will allow for the marking of concrete, such as parking spaces, as well as concrete courts like basketball courts, tennis courts, pickleball courts. So it allows for even more usage, so
Okay,
it's a good
so
opportunity.
it's a good thing. All right. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Counselors?
I can't wait to see this thing.
I know, it sounds fabulous, doesn't it?
We'll do a demo.
Yeah. All right, all those in favor of the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Resolution is adopted, and we can move to the 5th one.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to sign a new agreement for legal services with Christopher R. Conard, attorney at Coolidge Wall Company, LPA.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt this resolution?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. And Doug, you want to
Yes.
take that?
So council desires to amend the agreement for legal services with Coolidge Wall Company, LPA, our city attorney. The hourly rate will be increased from $155 per hour to $185 per hour. Also, the annual retainer will be increased from $85,000 to $90,000 beginning on January 1st, 2026. And then each year thereafter, the retainer will be increased by the same amount that the non-classified city employees receive for the cost of living adjustment.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Okay, council, something we've all discussed, so you ready to go? All those in favor indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Congratulations, Mr. Kennard.
Thank you.
We're glad to have you. All right. We'll move to number F.
A resolution authorizing the city manager to apply for and, if awarded, accept the 2025 State Homeland Security Grant Program in the amount of $353,500 for events, safety barricades, and weapon screening tools.
Okay, and can I have a motion on that one?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Hi, Jessica.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Council. In full transparency, this grant had a very quick deadline, and we saw it, and we applied, and now we are asking for permission. And if you don't like it, we'll withdraw our application. But we thought that because City Council in January of 2025 asked us to research ways to improve event safety and strategies to mitigate risks associated with large gatherings was our action item. And so we did a fair amount of research on what cities are doing, and we have found that these barricades are widely used. They're vehicle stop barricades that if you've seen them at like baseball games and things, if a car hits them, they tip and then they stop the car. And so this grant has 2 projects that are submitted. The primary one being the portable vehicle barriers at $250,000. These are movable barricades that would be put up during large events with street closure, with the idea of blocking cars from coming through. And then the second project would be for walk-through and handheld metal detectors at $103,500. And so together, these tools, we believe, would improve event safety. There is no match. And so if awarded, it would be helping us achieve this action item of the council.
Thank
Happy to
you
answer any questions.
very much for pursuing that. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this resolution? Okay, counselors?
I just have a comment about the metal detectors. So how would that be for street closures?
I think that would be, you want to answer? Sure. And I have to give credit, Jeff Robinson is the one who found this grant and drafted it, so.
So yeah, I'll give credit to Lieutenant Robinson, who's been working, but part of this is also assisting Miami Athletics in some of the stuff they do, and so sharing resources and collaborating with them. So those would probably more likely be used there, but they would be available to us, of course, if we had an event that we wanted to utilize that technology, so.
And whenever I was looking into kind of like school safety and gun violence, besides from actually doing policy for gun violence, you know, metal detectors can be very effective to try to prevent gun violence in schools, from my understanding. I'm looking, yeah. So I just think it's yeah, this is so good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I ask for public comment on this one? I
thought
got-
so. Yeah, this
okay.
was Chantal's question.
All right, good, thank you.
Yes.
Um,
Well, I was just going to say, this is wonderful, and thank you to Lieutenant Robinson for seeking that out. And that oftentimes when we see the stories that rise to the level of national attention with cars plowing through events, the ones that are some kind of terrorist attack or something are the ones that would get a lot of attention. But sometimes it's somebody who had a medical event or
Yeah.
got lost and disoriented, and so there are lots of reasons why having something like this is really important for public safety. So,
It
thank
really
you.
is, yeah.
So I think this is great. It just happens to be an opportunity, and one of the last chance I'll have to ask about this is that we were talking about this in part around context in general about kind of pedestrianizing and using some of our streets as public spaces. And a year ago, we were talking about making some improvements to alleys to pedestrianize them, and then we went through we had a work session, and a conversation, a process. I don't think we budgeted anything to make improvements to the alleys, where every Friday and Saturday night, we have people in the alleys and cars traversing the alleys, so this addresses it. Do we have any?
We actually did budget for a grant match for these barricades.
Okay.
And our thought was if we didn't get, well, we thought we'd have to have a grant match, but then our thought was if we didn't get the grant match, we could buy fewer and use them for the alleys. And then if you've noticed, when we have large events, we use cars to block the major streets. So we did budget, I don't want to misspeak, but we do have a portion in the budget for capital expense on this.
Okay, in doing the process that we did in the plan, and I'm not sure what the status of that plan is, but, what we learned is that there's pedestrian usage just kind of informally in the alleys on Fridays and Saturday nights, people lining up outside CJ's, and currently there's really no traffic, so it's like a routine chronic public hazard, that.
It's a problem waiting to happen.
Yeah, and so we especially on those weekend evenings, thinking about this, why do we need vehicular traffic through the alleys on a Friday night by CJ's? And so I hope that we can, A, think about how this ties in with that, and then B, and again, I'm not sure what the status of the alley improvement plan is, and that will be for someone else but I hope that we don't give up on the thinking and learning that we did there.
Yeah, and it's in the comprehensive plan, and it's something we need to do, for sure. Anyone else? Are you ready to vote? All those in favor of the resolution indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Resolution is adopted. Thanks to Lieutenant Robinson.
Yes.
Okay, we will move on to ordinances first reading. We have one.
An ordinance amending ordinance number 3783, supplemental budget ordinance number 8, to make supplemental appropriations for fiscal year 2025.
Hello, Heidi.
Hello,
How are
good
you
evening,
this
Mayor and
evening?
councilors. I'm bringing a reduction, mostly reductions, that are needed to reduce the amount of transfers to the Oates Trail Fund and to the Fire Fund for less property tax that was collected for each of these respective levies. The Oates Trail and the Fire EMS operations. With the reduction in revenue, the transfers must be reduced to ensure the certification to the county that the total appropriations from each fund do not exceed the estimated resources.
Okay, thank you very much. And is there any comment from the public or questions? Okay, thank you. Counselors?
I
Okay.
just have a question for Ms. Ridenhour. We were talking about this, that you're seeing this kind of pattern, that there's reduced collections on some of these levies. And do we have a sense from the county what's going on, or why? Yeah, that's kind of hard to budget for something. If
Right,
it
we
comes in
don't,
less than we
we
were.
don't, other than delinquencies. Some years, they kind of fluctuate, so we assume that the collections are coming in higher in a later year than what was actually we expected for the current year.
So who enforces on tax delinquency?
County auditor.
The county
Okay.
auditor's office, yeah.
Okay. So is that, yeah, at what point do we say, hey, I mean, do they just do that as a matter of course? Or, because these are kind of significant differences between
Yeah, I mean,
anticipated and,
you know, I don't have a statute in front of me, but you have a period of time to pay your taxes. You don't pay it, and they become delinquent, then they take, you know, certain steps, you know. Eventually, you'll see in the paper that they'll have a sheriff's sale of property that's tax delinquent. So, you know, there is a process, and, you know, they follow it.
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments? All right, this will come up at our next meeting for a vote as a second reading. It's good that our new counselors are here, so they heard it on first. All right, now we'll move to second reading and read it.
An ordinance to make appropriations and for current expenses and other expenditures of the City of Oxford, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
Okay, is there a motion to adopt the ordinance?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Heidi? You
There are no.
described it last meeting.
Right? There are no additional, or no changes from the first reading.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this one? This has to do with appropriations for current expenses. There are several coming up, so it's confusing. All right, council, call the roll.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Mr. Prithridge?
Yes.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes.
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Mayor Snavely?
Yes, this ordinance is adopted, and we can move to number 2.
An ordinance outlining budgeted advances for the City of Oxford, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
Okay, and is there a motion to adopt this one?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Heidi?
Again, there are no changes from the first one.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this ordinance dealing with budgeted advances? Okay, council, any questions or concerns? All right, call the roll, please.
Mr. Prithridge?
Yes.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes.
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Mayor Snavely?
Yes. This ordinance is adopted, and we can move to number 3.
An ordinance outlining budgeted transfers for the City of Oxford, State of Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2026.
Okay, and is there a motion to adopt this one?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Heidi?
No changes.
No changes, okay, thank you very much. So this one has to do with budgeted transfers. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this ordinance? All right, thank you very much. Counselors, any new questions or comments? All right, you may call the roll.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes.
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Mr. Prithridge?
Yes.
Mayor Snavely?
Yes. These meetings go kind of fast when everything is a second reading, and we've already talked about them. All right, let's read number 4.
An ordinance to adopt fees and charges for the fiscal year 2026.
Okay, and is there a motion to adopt this?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded.
Again, no changes.
Okay, thank you. And is there anyone from the public who would like to address fees and charges? Okay, hearing none. Council, any questions or concerns? Hearing none, you may call the roll.
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Mr. Prithridge?
Yes.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mayor Snavely?
Yes. Ordinance is adopted, and we move to the 5th and final ordinance for tonight.
An ordinance establishing salaries and certain benefits for salaried and hourly full-time and part-time employees within the service of the City of Oxford, Ohio, paid from January 1st, 2026 through December 31st, 2026.
Okay, and is there a motion to adopt this ordinance?
So moved.
Seconded.
It's been moved and seconded. Hi, Jessica.
Good evening. I have a few changes.
Okay.
Just really minor ones. We did add 9,000 part-time hours for firefighters as we discussed various staffing models of full-time versus part-time versus leadership roles, we wanted to add it in to give us some flexibility. And so we will work with what we have budgeted, but this gives us the flexibility for the audit that we don't want to have to exceed anything. So we just added 9,000 more hours part-time for firefighters. And also, thanks to Katrina and our payroll staff who caught that I had one pay band wrong. Oh, so close. But we have a new water operator 3 in water and wastewater, and they were a pay band 5, not pay band 4. So we corrected them. Happy to answer
Always
your
good to have a proof.
It is, it is.
It is, all right. Is there anyone from the public who would like to address this ordinance? Okay, council? It's a very important one for our staff.
I guess just this is kind of a part of a whole bundle of things that are effectively how our city is able to do its work. You know, from the taxes that people pay and the fees people pay to how it's budgeted between different accounts and funds and used to pay people and pay off vendors. And it's enormously complex. And the fact that the money goes all to the places where it's supposed to do the work that it's supposed to do, all with a sense on the part of the city of total trust that the money's being spent effectively. We don't need to worry about, I mean, like, yeah, to take for granted that your city is fiscally well managed, that is really, it's just like having, you know, it's just a nice thing not to have to worry about. But the fact that we're able to do all that while moving forward on things, and just a basic thing like the fact that we move forward with a 4% cost of living adjustment raise for folks without having to make them fight for it, is, you know, it's my impression the city of Oxford is a good employer, and I'm proud to be part of a good employer. And again, it's a lot of details to, you know, we've got healthcare in here, dental. The city is not a small organization, so thank you to all involved in making that nuts and bolts stuff of the organization work.
Okay, thank you, Dave. Anyone else? Okay, call the roll.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ms. Franklin?
Yes.
Ms. French?
Yes.
Mr. Prithridge?
Yes.
Ms. Ragu?
Yes.
Mr. Bracken?
Yes.
Mayor Snavely?
Yes, and this ordinance is adopted. And we will move to announcements and communication. I'll start with City Manager Doug Elliott.
All right, thank you. This morning, the fire chief, assistant city manager, and I met with a Milford Township trustee and their fiscal officer to discuss a new EMS contract for the western portion of Milford Township. The current contract expires at the end of this year. As you probably know, they were successful in getting a recent levy passed at 1.85 mils for 5 years, additional property tax levy for EMS. It passed 56% to 44%. And of course, that's quite an accomplishment when you consider that Ross Township, their levy failed, and Hanover Township failed. So we met with them to discuss a new contract. As you know, I've been attempting to get them to pay what I call fair share, based on their percentage of runs, and I think we're accomplishing that. So hopefully I'll be bringing in an agreement at our first meeting in December or our second meeting, and we'll be presenting a new contract with Milford Township. Also, I wanted to share with you, because this doesn't get a lot of attention, as you know, we have a Municipal Records Commission. Heather does a good job of making sure we meet twice a year, and you know, we go through a lot of records, and I serve on the Municipal Records Commission. The finance director serves as well, the law director, and one citizen appointed by the city manager, and that's Jackie Johnson. Brad Spurlock of the Smith Historical Society serves as an ex officio member. And like I said, we meet twice a year, which we're required to do. And at our last meeting, which was Tuesday, October 21st, the commission reviewed and approved several certificates of records disposal, RC3, for various departments and divisions. So we're doing a great job there, and thanks to Heather. The last thing that I wanted to share with you is the fact that, lost my place here, the annexation. With the resolution that you passed this evening, we'll be providing that to the county commissioners. They've asked for some additional information, and we'll be providing that, and hopefully we'll be moving that annexation forward. And that's all I have this evening, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you very much. Mike?
Nothing tonight, thank you.
Chief? Nope, okay. Heidi?
I just wanted to say, best wishes to our favorite Chantel, and it's been nice working with you, and we'll miss seeing you around.
Thank you. Chief Dethridge? Okay, nothing from the back. All right. Chad?
Just briefly, wanted to say thank you for those who came to the Veterans Day ceremony this past Tuesday. Thanks to our friends at the Oxford Community Arts Center for letting us quickly use their space when the weather wasn't very cooperative. So I think it turned out great. And then also wanted to put a quick plug out that our next big OPRD event will be December 6th for the Holiday Fest. And I'll be reaching out to request the mayor assist in lighting the tree again this year uptown. So wanted to plant that seed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to David and Chantel for your service.
Okay. Jessica?
All right, I'm at Chatty McCarthy. So, David and Chantel, congratulations on your last regular meeting. As you know, council through consensus leads to change. So let's review. Your top goals were, way back when you first started, housing, climate sustainability, and economic development. And then we passed a brand new comprehensive plan. Bravo. And housing, we have close to 50 new units coming our way of affordable housing for the workforce in our community. There's not many other communities doing that. When I talk about housing in other communities, they're like, you're doing what? You're how big? You used your ARPA money how? That's because of you guys. We have a cold shelter this year. We paid for cold shelters in past years. Climate. We have a climate action plan. We have a population of 23,000 people. We might be one of the only towns that small with a climate action plan. When we first joined the Global Covenant of Mayors, and I had to do all this data stuff that I didn't know what it was, and I just faked it till I didn't make it, our score was a D. Our score last year was an A-. We have a gold level Ohio EPA standard for our climate action plan. We have solar projects that are in the works right now. Economic development. We partnered with Miami University on the development of College at Elm. It was a dumpy, gross building. And now it is amazing. And we passed an economic development strategic plan to guide our way for the next several years. In addition to that, we got through COVID. We learned how to Zoom. We learned how to have online meetings and allow public comment. We built trails. We passed a fire levy and hired new firefighters. We survived and got through and had societal change here in our town because of our reaction to the murder of George Floyd. We have a police social worker. We talked a lot about cats. Weirdly.
Chantel especially.
We talked about deer.
David
But you know what? You've made us stretch. You made us work hard. Sometimes it felt like physical therapy, and it was really hard. But honestly, because of that, just like good physical therapy, you've made us stronger. So thank you for your service to the city of Oxford.
Thank you, Jessica. Heather?
Nothing, thank you.
Okay. Chris?
I have a couple things. One, I want to talk about cybersecurity. You're going to be having a resolution that's going to be a bit unusual that one doesn't see and how it's going to play out. House Bill 96 requires all communities to adopt a cybersecurity plan by January. What's unusual about that cybersecurity plan, the legislature actually did something that makes sense. And that is, the cybersecurity plan is not a public document for reasons that relate to security, which means that before council adopts it, there will be a discussion in executive session to go through that plan so that you can do your due diligence to adopt the policy. However, the policy is not, and this is why I'm saying this now in a public session, is not a public record. And so the resolution will state that it is not a public record. There will not be an attachment of the exhibit to the resolution, which you will see and say, why isn't that happening? So I'm giving you the precursor to what will take place.
Thank you.
Next, I just briefly on the assessment issue. It's kind of complicated, and it's an involved process for a variety of reasons. One, typically the assessment amounts are so small, the economics of foreclosure aren't practical. In addition, the law requires working with a delinquent taxpayer to try and alleviate the situation. There's requirements to enter into contracts, and so fundamentally it requires patience. What typically happens is after some period of time that is far lengthier than any municipality would want, because the money's important, the revenue's important, is that something will happen. If the property owner sells the property because the liens are on it, they have to be paid first before the sale can go forward. So there's some fail-safes there, but fundamentally, it just takes time. And to the extent that, the current situation is impacting people economically and they're making decisions on where they're going to spend their money, taxes, real estate taxes are paid in arrears, and it just takes a while to catch up. And then finally, I'd like to thank council. It's really an honor to serve you, and the trust that you show our firm, the people that are here. And I want to say this in this context to David, Chantel, but to all of you. I get to go to other places. I get to see how other local governments function. There is no place better than here. You are respectful of one another. You think about what you want to do. You act with intention and respect for other people's opinions. You don't have to agree, but you find a way to get it done for what you believe to be the best interest of the community. And I will also say this, for a community of its size, and not just the size, anywhere in Ohio, you have a staff that is remarkable.
We do.
Remarkable. You are, I don't use this word very often, but you're truly blessed in this community to have the people that you have and that you serve them as well. So, thank you.
Thank you, Chris, appreciate it. Mike?
I want to talk about OSH for a minute and the upcoming Winter House Cold Shelter, which is set to open on December 1st. If you go to oshox.org, they have established a wonderful website. They need volunteers, they need donations, not only of food, but of material. And if you go to that website, it is so well done. You can just click on whatever you might want to donate, whether it's blankets or cups and plates, or I believe they still need a microwave. You can do that. Your name will show up on the list so people will know that you donated that. And repairs pending to the building, hopefully we will be up and running December 1st.
Okay.
And then I would also like to thank Chantel and David. You made us better as a council. You made us better as a community. And I appreciate all the extra time you put in, not just here in the meetings, but to make that happen. So, thank you.
Alex?
I would like to thank Chad for doing such a great job with the Veterans Day ceremony, especially the quick pivot to being inside, which was so nice to not be standing outside with cold feet. But it was a really lovely ceremony. And thank you to the local organizations. And OPD was involved, Navy ROTC was involved, Rotary was involved. So it really is a kind of multi-organization team effort. And it was really beautiful. Also noting that this Saturday is Farm and Flea from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Uptown in the park. So hopefully we'll see you all there getting some nice crafty gifts for the holidays. And then lastly, I would also like to thank David and Chantal. You've taught me, I can't believe it's already been 4 years with your mentorship and guidance. And Chantal, I remember you inviting me over and talking me through all of the things that I was getting ready to do, and I just think a lot about your guidance and passion. And if I've learned nothing else from both of you, which I've learned much more than that from both of you, it's that being passionate and really caring about your community, it matters, and people see it and they feel it. And so to be able to just see you both do the work and show up and just be so passionate for 8 years is remarkable. So thank you both for your service. I hope that those of us who are staying can help mentor the next group coming in, but thank you both so much.
Chantel?
This is hard. I spent my 30s here. I spent the Tuesdays of my 30s in this building. And I am 40 now, so time to leave. And I have gray hair, one new gray hair per year. So it feels like the end of high school, right? And I kind of look around the room and think about what I would write in everyone's yearbook, And so I won't make it super long, but if I go around the room, I'm just going to pick some people. Doug, you and I have not always gotten along. But one thing that I have learned from you is how civil you are, even if I might be going a little crazy. So I think about that in my interactions. I think about what would Doug have done. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
And then JJ, not to skip over you, you're amazing too. I mean, a lot of what Jessica said, I mean, after George Floyd and Black Lives Matter, it was really tough. And, I have friends all over the country that are all other local elected officials, and I see the way that their police responded to the demands of their council, and you are so different, and so really, really appreciate. I mean, there were a lot of agreements to get there, but, to get to where we were to have our social worker is such a beautiful thing, and it made me very appreciative of you and your leadership. Heidi's so excited that you're a woman financial director, and you just kind of stepped into a really crappy situation really beautifully. I feel bad for skipping Mike. Mike, the thing that no, because I remember someone saying that Mike is a soldier. He will do whatever it takes to get it done. And I was like, oh, okay, Mike's a soldier. So I was told that during my first year. And then other JJ, thank you for saving the clinic. It wasn't on fire, it was just smoking, but thank you. And it definitely, I know that your team is a really good one, and it's just so, it feels good to know that we're safe from that. Chad, you're a new kid, so I know you from other ways. Thank you so much. You bring a lot of expertise. If Casey were here, I would have said he's like the class clown, right? Like, he makes everyone laugh. Sam, you have such a good heart. Like, I know that when we would come up with these ideas that seem like I just had a whole plan, like, I noticed over the years how receptive you were to it, even though it threw a wrench in your plans, and you were really trying to think of how it would help the community, and it was very palpable. Jessica, you would be like most likely to succeed. I remember from first working with you and Enjoy Oxford, and I was like, holy crap, this is a yes person. Like, this person is like doing stuff. You sit in so many meetings with people who tell you 30 minutes why something can't happen, and then to sit in a room with you and you're like refreshing, you're like, yeah, let's do this. That's so cool, and we're so lucky to have that energy. Heather, I have to talk about your cats. You have the cutest cats, and you keep everything organized, and we can always count on you to help us whenever we need things with the fine details. And then Chris, I actually didn't want to run for vice mayor because I didn't want to move my seat because I like sitting next to you because he would give me candy. And then I think about the city, local government. I'm sorry this is so long, but I think about city government being, at least with ours, with the city manager style, there's 3 branches. There's the city staff, which I agree, we are so lucky to have such a civil, every type of engagement is very civil. We have the city management, we have a city council, and then we have the people on the other side of the camera, or sitting in the audience, or they're at home plotting and doing different things. And I'll get to them in a second. So for city council, Mike, I don't know if anyone doesn't like you. I think you're just like the most likable human being. And thank you so much for always, when you were mayor, just very, very fair. You were very fair, and I appreciated that a lot. And your support when I ran for county commission, thank you so much. Alex, you're like this wordsmith. It's amazing. Alex and Amber and I went to go turn in our petitions together in 2021, and I was so excited. Like, yes, we got these like 2 women are running, and it's so exciting. And so just keeping that going and making sure we have these people that are just as passionate. Bill, I consider you my bestie. I think Mike's probably your bestie, but whatever, on council. So thank you so much for always having a lot of inside jokes. And I enjoy you always, and you are also a fair mayor, and it's made our time on council just so much more pleasant. Amber, maybe, I don't know, you and Mike most likable. I don't know which one. But thank you so much always for everything that you do, and constantly reaching out to people. Everyone loves you. Jason, thank you for being my fellow progressive, you know, like, we're all progressive, right? But I feel like me and Jason are the progressives, right? And I can remember Jason asking him to run at the 4th of July parade. I was like, this guy, you gotta run. And David, you're my sibling, basically, right? Like my cohort.
I am.
And I told you this in text, like, I'm so proud to be in your cohort. And I know you can be chatty sometimes, but you do so much. Like, you are constantly pushing, and your level of energy throughout the whole 8 years has been really inspiring, and I wish I could have been as good as you. So, yeah, so we have our city manager, we have our city council, and then we have the people that are on the other side of the camera. And they are the thread, right? They're the ones that are, if they believe in something and if they want something, they will organize to get it done. I mean, how many nonprofits has this community created and maintained and then been able to protest, pass petitions, get things done? I would say even Black Lives Matter was not an official chapter of it. Hugely important of getting the social worker, huge. OSH and the cold shelter right now, and the city's partnership with funding that. But the fact that it's happening, I was lucky enough to attend one of their meetings today, and that's a high caliber group of people that is not wasting time in their meetings. And so I just want to mention personal people, Don Diker and the Progressive PAC, thank you so much for everything you've done behind the scenes, getting really good people to run and supporting those people they believe in. Don was the one that asked me to run. He took me to lunch at Kona and was like, you should run. So I really, really appreciate him kind of bringing me into the mix. And you weren't here in the beginning meetings, like maybe 8 years ago, but you've been to a lot. So, and you are this silent force that is making sure things are as equitable and as good as possible. And so I feel so comfortable leaving knowing that you will always be in the room. You will always be watching, you will always be pushing. And there are times throughout council, this has been, I'd say 8 years that have been very punishing at times, right? Sometimes you're not doing enough, sometimes you're doing too much, sometimes your allies are mad, that hurts the most when your allies are mad. Sometimes the people who are gonna hate you no matter what, they're so mad at you. But there are moments where it truly felt like love, right? Like when the people in the community that need the help the most are so grateful. So I just want to, sorry. The housing issue and the tenants that we're fighting to protect. Please keep doing that. It means a lot. So, and I would just say that Maria, who's no longer with us, who would have been helping, I hope we can continue to push forward in her name. And then I would be remiss if I didn't thank Chris for listening to me after I come home with a lot of adrenaline every Tuesday night, and always supporting me through everything, no matter how stressful it is in my county commissioner campaign, and loving me despite all the crazy ideas. So I just want to say thank you to everybody. This has been like one of the most rewarding things I've ever done.
Thank you, Chantel. Amber?
Okay, a couple sort of business items. Paco has a couple calls out. There's the call for haikus. This is our third haiku on ice. So please submit your haikus. Excited to read them all. We also have the municipal art exhibit also available. Please go to the city website and look at what we're looking for this time around. We're excited to get the submissions again this year. The Veterans Day event was very moving. Thank you for your hard work and for everyone who participated in that. And since Doug mentioned Heather, you know, your hard work on records and everything, you had some huge shoes to fill when we kind of started at the same time in this role, and also went through some challenges, and really proud of what you've done and for your grace and everything you're doing to keep the city running. So thank you. And then to David and Chantel, it's been an honor serving with both of you. I've learned the value of patience, passion, and persistence from both of you. David, I learned from you how challenging it is when you want to get something done for the city and the people that you are close to sometimes are upset with you for it. I know with the trail 4 years ago, that
was your introduction.
That was my introduction and Alex's introduction, but to see you just forge ahead. I love seeing you walking around town when I'm sitting at Kafenya, always so upbeat and positive, just in your gait. And so I'm looking forward to engaging with you. It's a small town. That's one of the nice things. We're not really saying bye to each other. And then Chantel, one of the most positive and energetic people I've ever met. It was an honor to work with you on your campaign for commissioner to knock doors. Even though it didn't turn out the way you wanted it to, you made your opponent spend money that he didn't have to spend for years to run, and that's something. And I just want you to continue on with your faith in humanity and your desire and belief that things can get better. It makes a difference. So thank you.
Jason?
That was beautiful, Chantel. Your thank you to everyone and your thoughts on your 8 years. And also, I'm only here because of you, completely and specifically. So thank you for that. But my biggest compliment to both of you is don't leave. I know you have to go away for 2 years. Consider coming back, please. And if you can't do that, stay on and join other commissions. Keep contributing, give me ideas, yell at me if I'm doing something wrong. You've made the city better, absolutely. And I don't want to lose you. And I know we have to, sort of, for 2 years, but please consider coming back or stay involved as much as possible because we will benefit from it. So thank you for your time.
Dave?
All right, well, and I'm a pretty sentimental person, and I am feeling sentimental, but I also do feel like service on council is just one form of service in Oxford, and we get a days up here and a microphone, and there it is a special responsibility, and at times the decision making has been really tough, and also it's a huge privilege to be part of this. But when I think of that this is just one part of a group of people that makes the city what it is. And I've been circling through the departments and made it to almost everybody and have been sharing with staffers. I mean, when you're part of the city, it really is a team of people. And it feels more and more like a team all the time. I think the culture of the organization just keeps getting better and better and better. And so that people are doing really hard work and not easy. I mean, I'm looking at the fire chief. That was a really dark moment you guys were going through, but held together. And so it's been really a privilege to cycle through all the departments and the staffers from you guys as department heads. It's funny because it's like the politics of small groups. I mean, we all work with each other a lot. I mean, we're up here on Tuesday nights, but it's a lot of, we're all working with each other and trying to make tough decisions with competing priorities and limited resources. And it's not easy. But yeah, I agree with Chris that it's the city. My work with the city going back a long time has always been a place of great civility and professionalism. My department wasn't always that way. It's gotten better. My department's good now. But I've always found the city to be an incredible place, and I've been drawn to it for a really long time. So as sentimental as I am, I came in. Oxford's a crazy community. I was here 2 years, and Alicia Fisher, if you guys remember Alicia, was on council, and she's like, "Hey, you should think about serving on the planning commission." I'm like, I've been here 2 years. What? But Oxford always been a place where hey, do you have talent? Get on the team. We need your talent. And so it's funny because I went on council really probably only because I was term limited off the planning commission. 10 years on the planning commission. And I was like, well, I'm not done with the work yet, so I will do council. My wife had great qualms about me going on because as if it's not a small enough fishbowl as it is, when people buttonhole you. And, I'll never forget the time when I was coming out of a colonoscopy, and the volunteer at the hospital, and an elderly woman was pushing the wheelchair out to my car. She's like, "Do not route the trail by my house." And I was like, wow, there is no anonymity in this town. But that said, that this town is, small towns can be a lot. It takes higher order social skills to operate in a small town. You need to know how to disagree without being disagreeable. You need to know how to forgive people for the stuff because you're going to see them, and none of us is going anywhere. And luckily that's not hard in Oxford because, the consensus about what makes this such a great town and why it's so hard to work, why it's worth working for, and why it's worth chipping into is just shared among so many people, And that's made our job really simple. I mean, I think that, not really simple, but I think that we have a sense of our community, and then you do these things like a comprehensive plan, and you realize, oh yeah, the things that we care about, like we think we care about housing, it turns out everybody does. We care about alternative transportation. Everybody wants a walkable community. And so, yeah, that to be part of a town that there's just people's hearts are in the right place, and so many of us are in the right place. I also joke in Oxford that if you walk too slowly down the street, someone's going to rope you into a committee because we have more committees than we have people. But that's a sign right from the very beginning in this town. I was impressed by. I've lived in a bunch of different places, and this is the most civically engaged community I've ever lived in by like an order of magnitude. It's kind of crazy, and you can see it in you can see it in Veterans Day, and you can see it in the Halloween parade, and you can see it here, and you can see it in Osh. So yes, it's been an absolute privilege to work with all the folks in the room and all the people who work for you. I've tried to get to know and thank as many of those people as I can. It has, of course, been a pleasure to work with this council and the people who preceded you guys on council. We can disagree on the little stuff because we are all on the same place, which again, not to be taken for granted. We could waste a lot of time on petty politics or whatever. And so we have a super professional group, and yeah, I am a forward-looking person, so I'm forward-looking, and I'm also critical, which is I think of the things I've been struggling more with the things I haven't been able to get accomplished, because the pace of change is slow, and I don't know who talked about pushiness, but I came to accept that I'm a pushy person because change requires that. Like if you want to make change, you have to push, and relentlessly. And so, I know some folks will be really happy to maybe a little less Dave Prithridge pushiness. But again, well, why? Maybe it's because of the things that I want to see accomplished, but then, whenever we have the public here, or you talk to people, or you're out, or you do a comprehensive plan and surveys people, it's like, yeah, we're pushing for the things that the people are asking for. And they're not easy. Affordable housing is not easy. Carbon neutrality is not easy. Trails are not easy. Maintaining a police force that navigates all the tricky cross currents, how to fund a fire department, how to allocate street space, how to plan your community, and then all of the other back of house stuff is just really complicated. So anyway, I'm rambling now, other than to say it has been a privilege of a lifetime to be part of the city of Oxford, and there are few communities you could imagine, being a greater privilege to serve. But like I say, this is just one form of service. And so I don't think any of us is going, I doubt we're not going to be seeing Chantel Ragu, and it's impossible for you not to see me because I'm walking up and down Contreras Road every single day. So I look forward to contribute, but I have the utmost in trust. I want to congratulate those guys who were reelected. Congratulations to those of you who are serving out the remainder of terms, and to thank, we had really great people run for office, so I can leave, and this is the other big thing. It's like I'm a pushy person. I try to do the things that I want to do, but ultimately my biggest goal has been to see the organization become reoriented so it works on and continues to make progress on the goals, regardless whether any of us are up here or not. And that's why I believe in stuff like comprehensive plans. Like if the people say they want this, it shouldn't take a Dave Prithridge or a Chantel Ragu. We should be interchangeable parts because we have a vision, and there's so much work yet to be done. but I have confidence that we're moving in the direction where we're going to get this stuff done. So anyway, thank you for being part of that wonderful privilege for me.
Thank you, David. Appreciate it. I want to say a couple things. One, I want to congratulate Chad on a good Veterans Day ceremony. It was my honor to speak at it, and I think it was just really well organized. And you pulled everything together when the weather changed on us, and really did a nice and respectful job. So thank you very much. And thanks to OCAC for helping us out, yeah. I want to say at this point that I'm very glad that we got bids on the solar project, and we'll be acting on that soon. I just hope that solar remains a big priority and we can get more things done. And I know Jason and I will be pushing for it, and I hope that our colleagues will as well, so we can see some real movement. This will be my last meeting leading the meeting as your mayor. It's time for me to step back and be a council member for the final 2 years. And so I do want to thank everyone. I'm not going to go through each individual, but I'm not leaving, so I'll save those for later. But I do really thank the city staff. The staff of the city, top to bottom, is really amazing. And now several people have said that, but it's really the case. And I hope that they know that they are appreciated by the city council and by the people in this community. I want to thank my fellow councilors, one and all, for everything that you've done, and you've been very supportive. Now, David, we have not always agreed.
100% of the time.
But maybe 80% of the time we have agreed, maybe more. But I respect you so much, and I will miss you being on this council, because one of the things that I often say to people who ask is what I value is not somebody who agrees with me, but what I value is somebody who does the homework, who does the work to understand the issues. And it's very obvious to anybody who watches on the television or who's here that you care and you do the work. And I appreciate that. It's more than you will ever know. Chantel, you are my bestie. She's, I think, probably the best vice mayor anybody could have asked for. And you've done it without any complaints, even when sometimes I was like, I may not make it back because the flight's going to be late, and you're like, oh, that's okay, I'll take care of it. And the times that I have missed, you have taken over and done a really good job. And you kept time for me on whenever anybody spoke. When I say you have 5 minutes, we mean exactly 5 minutes, and we keep a timer going. And I treat everybody the same, and that's what I've always tried to do, is to run an efficient meeting and treat everybody fairly. And so I leave that position and look forward to Monday night with a lot of good memories and anticipation for what will follow. I want to especially thank Heather Barber, because Heather, you don't realize this, but as clerk of council, she's like the glue that keeps everything together, and she makes things happen. And I know that I can always count on Heather to get something done. And I want to thank our city manager, who I know I said I wasn't going to make individual thank yous, but Doug has been somebody who's been very, very good to work with and always forthright, and I appreciate it. That's enough. I would entertain a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
So moved.
It's been
Seconded.
moved
Seconded.
and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thank you. Best of luck to you.
Can I take a picture with y'all?
Yes.
Okay, great, thanks,
yes.
everybody. Let's take a picture.
You know, back in the day, we did have council pictures, formal photographs.
Of the whole group.
Of the whole group.
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna take it for you. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is this also staff?
Thanks